Always fun to talk to Brad Bradley. He's the head coach of the Heritage Pioneers. Pioneers have a big one this week when they host the Amherst Lancers at City Stadium. Coach Bradley gave his thoughts on that one as well as his thoughts on the victory against the Minutemen this past weekend when I talked to him on Sunday. It's Brad Bradley on the Sports Buffet Podcast.
Always fun to catch up with the head coach of the Heritage Pioneers, Mr. Brad Bradley. Coach, we haven't done this in a while, so I hope you remember how to do it. I hope I remember how to do it. Let's review before we preview. What went right against Liberty?
I thought that our defense really played well. You take away the first drive and third quarter there, the second half. I think paper said it was like 18, 19 play drive. I thought our defense did extremely well. The first half, we gave them a short field right off the bat. We stopped them. They gave us, our defense did a good job. They ended up turning over the football. We ended up scoring there. But I think what went right was our defense played really well. I think offensively, our offensive line, Coach Eric, we just found a way he found a way to get some yards up front. They had a good scheme for us, but we just kept pounding, and we found a way to get it done up front. And, number 9, Javante Parrish, our quarterback, he always finds a way in the passing game. And he ended up with about, he was 11 for 20 for 212 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So, I think overall we played really well. I think we definitely could have played better in some spots. But anytime you get into a Seminole District game, it's going to be a battle, and that's exactly what it was.
Do you feel that the team has been going, and I mean your team, are you getting better each week, or are you getting better some weeks and going down? I mean, how's the flow chart going, if you get my question?
I definitely think overall as a team we've gotten a lot better. We struggled a lot against Magna Vista there at the beginning just with some stuff that, really had a lot to do with us. And I really feel like that we cleaned up a lot of that, especially on the special teams part of it. But, anytime you're cramming, and we take for granted that it is our first year, and we do have so much stuff in, and we probably have more offensive stuff in here in 1 year than we had in Campbell in 9. And that's not really over-exaggerating things because we have to. So, whenever you're cramming to put a lot of stuff in, especially on the offensive side of the ball, sometimes you lose in the quality of it. And I feel like over the last 4 weeks, we really, especially the week after EC Glass, or before EC Glass, we had the off week, really had a chance to kind of clean some of that stuff up, get our timing right, and get some technique right. And that's what we're doing. We're continuing to do it on offense, defense, and special teams. And I do think we're moving forward. I felt like that our first half against Halifax last week was probably, I guess, we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be flawless. But on the offense and the defense side of the ball, I thought that we did a really extremely good job, and probably as close to that flawless play as you're probably going to find.
Explain the comment, because you had to.
Well, I mean, because, it's one of those situations that, we can't be vanilla. We have to have a little bit of other stuff, and, in the back of our, our back pocket, our side pocket, our right side pocket, wherever it could be, because we're going to need everything we have to compete in the Seminole District. And, we're young up front. Our 2 tackles are juniors. Our center's a junior. Our right guard is, our left guard is a kid that was playing a little bit of a tight end, wide receiver, power back spot at the beginning of the year, going through 7-on-7. He went through 7-on-7 the whole time at wide receiver and linebacker. And now Andrew Griffin has turned into being one of our better linemen up front on the offense and the defense side of the ball. So, we've kind of had to make shift up front a little bit. But I'll tell you what, as a unit, they're starting to get there. And every single week they get better, and better.
No gimme this week with the Lancers coming into City Stadium. What worries you about Cecil Phillips' squad?
Well, they're very, very well coached. Coach Phillips does an extremely good job. Coach Chris, the defense coordinator there, does a great job. And, our longtime assistant over at Wayne Campbell, Coach Dwayne Hamlet's on their staff. So, obviously, number one, they're going to be very prepared and very well coached. Athletic as crap. Just can fly around fast. Team speed is something that, that really shows up on film for them. Their quarterback, Kyle Edwards, Jr., he does a great job distributing the ball. Doesn't run it a ton, but definitely has that dual threat ability. The 2 running backs, Marcus Brown and Sidney Sandage, I mean, they're 2 of the best running backs we've seen all year. They're on the same football team. I'm sitting here looking at stats, and, both those young men this year, basically, Brown has about 445 yards, and Sandage has 443 yards, and they combine for 10 touchdowns. That gives them almost a 10 yard per carry average per player. So those are 2 players we definitely have to be concerned with. On the defensive side of the ball, That they fly around. They do a tremendous job. And again, their team speed and athleticism is something that we have to be aware of. And also another valuable weapon they have on the offensive side of the ball, Darius Wilson, wide receiver. He's 6'4", 171, and with those two running backs, the quarterback they have, and then with some of the threats they have on the edge, they definitely present us some issues. On defense, they can run, they fly around, and they're very physical. And I think that's going to be a key word for this week is the word physical on both sides of the ball.
I think when a lot of people think of a city school, no matter where the city is, normally they think of athletes just because a lot of athletes go to city schools. That's just a fact. Do you think Amherst has you guys out-athleted?
Yeah, I don't ever want to say that anybody would have us athleted. I think that there's definitely a great matchup here. I think there's a lot of athletes on the field on both sides of the football. Along with Amherst and us. And, I feel, very certain that our kids are ready for that kind of challenge, as well as Amherst ready for our challenge. But I think it's going to be a great night for football. It's going to be in City Stadium. There's going to be a lot of people there, 2 undefeated football teams in the Seminole District. And, this is what football, and this is why kids play the game. This is why we coach it. Why people come to the game. This is what it's all about.
When's the last time you coached against somebody that has been on your staff?
I guess it's been a while. I can't. You caught me off guard with that question.
I try to do that every now and again.
Yeah, it's first time ever. But anyway, I don't really know.
Okay.
It's been a while, so I really can't put a finger on that.
Well,
I just met for Sluice when he was over at Alta Vista when he left the William Campbell staff, went over to Alta Vista, and we played against them that year. I think that was it. But you know what? We might not even play against them because that might be when Alta Vista decided to get out of the dogwood and go ahead and cancel the dogwood altogether so they can start winning games. I'm not sure.
Right. Here's where the question was going to go. What can Dwayne Hamlet tell Cecil Phillips about a Brad Bradley type team, or is he any advantage at all?
Cecil, yeah. Dwayne's a good football coach, and he was very heavily invested in our offense while we were at Campbell, and he knows a lot of things. Because of Dwayne Hamlet, we've changed all of our signaling, even at the beginning of the year, for this one game. I'm sure we'll have some other things under our sleeve here that we will do in terms of our signals and the way we call plays and some of the other things we do. But really coming into this year, because Dwayne Hamlet's over at Amherst, we really changed the way we do everything in terms of our signaling, the way we relate or communicate our plays from our quarterback to our offensive lineman. All that was changed, and we kept it the same for about 12 years. And we changed it this year, and the biggest reason we changed it for this football game right here.
Danny Broggan, we talked about him earlier, and I see him in the gym all the time while he's throwing up 300. I'm getting the bar up. But anyway, talk about how much of a asset Danny Broggan is as the season's going on. What is he getting better at as a coach?
Well, I'm very lucky. I got Coach John Eric, which has been with me now for 12 years. I've got John Meadows, who's been with me now for 1, 2, 3, for almost 4 years. And Danny, played for me for 4 years, and now he's been on my staff for a year. And I tell you what Danny brings to me. Not only does he bring the experience on offense and the experience and the knowledge of the offense, he really does a great job of bringing some experience and some knowledge and some input on the defensive side of the ball. He played for Coach Rock over at Liberty University in the 3-4 scheme, and we're running a little 3-4 this year. And he's brought a lot of stuff, I think, to not only our offense but to our secondary play and some of the things that we're doing, some of the packages that we're using. And kids love him. He's a hard-working young man, no matter if it's on football or coaching or school. He's a teacher's assistant this year at Sandusky Middle School, and he's going to be a tremendous football coach. I don't say he's going to be; he is. But I think one day he's going to be a really, really good head football coach someday.
Hope you can keep him for a while. Final question, Coach, as always. Appreciate the time, and I've slacked. I promise we'll start doing this on a more weekly basis. But give me 3 keys: offense, defense, special teams, that gives you guys one on the left side and gives Amherst their first loss of the year.
Well, yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we have to stop the run on defense. We got to be physical. We have to be physical. We have to stop the run with number 23 and number 32. We got to put them in situations that they end up being have to throw the football, or put them in situations they haven't been in. Number 2, on the offensive side of the ball, we got to keep the chains moving. We can't have any turnovers. We can't have any mistakes. We got to take advantage of what the defense gives us, like always. Special teams, again, I'll say it every week. I think that we have to play solid in all the special teams, but I think it's we have to make a special play somewhere in the special teams, whether it's a block punt, whether it's a good return. No matter what it is, we have to make some type of play in the special teams. And I really truly think that the biggest difference in this game will be physicality, on both sides of the ball. And I think whoever's more physical up front, offensive, defensive lines, and whoever's more physical overall, and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will come away the winner in the football game.
As always, appreciate the time. It's going to be a good one at City Stadium on Friday. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thanks a lot, Elvis, and maybe you can start giving us a call a little bit earlier. It's been first time in 4 weeks, so we appreciate it.
I know I'm slacking. I'll take my lumps later. Coach, as always,
all right, thank
best
you.
of luck.